TV107fm.
That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107fm, and of course the Prairie State's right there. Tongue-tied, gone to #1 in the most requested country artist and the most requested country song for an indie artist here at Galaxy 107fm. 21 after 9 o'clock, and what do you know, 22 degrees. I knew it was going to go over our high of 20 today, and well, it is a very, very special day for us here at Galaxy, going all the way over to Jacksonville, Florida. Hola, Frank, how are you?
Good morning, my friends. We're delighted to be with you this morning, and the sun is shining, and this is...
It's cold here, though.
Yeah. What would you say the weather is?
It's 50 degrees here.
Breezy, nice.
I'm not quite sure what 50 degrees is. You see, we're in Celsius, not in Fahrenheit. But we would, yeah, if you want to throw a stick at it, I would say about maybe high 80s, early 90s right now.
Okay.
For you.
It's your summer, though, right?
Your summer.
It is our summer, yes. We make sandcastles at Christmas time, not snowmen.
I was wondering what you did.
Well, around here the same. We have a couple of cool days, but we do more summer than winter here.
Yeah.
Well, I got to be honest with you, Frank. I can understand Jacksonville, Florida. It is a very, very lovely part of America. It really is. One of my favorite places, I got to be honest, because I have so many friends like yourself and Jackie, and of course Christian in the background there is doing this thing. We have such wonderful people like yourself over there, so I'm very familiar with your weather. But I've been talking to a lot of your countrymen around America just recently over the last 24 hours. Hey, Christian, nice to have you aboard. Nice to have you with us. Snow everywhere, and believe me, it's very miserable in places, and sleety. It's come with a bit of rain and stuff, so it's not actually the good snow, and I kind of feel sorry for them. One guy gave me a picture, would you believe, of a snow shovel. Now, it took us days to figure out what the heck this item was. We don't know what one of them is, where we are.
Yeah.
We really don't. And we kind of tried to figure out what you would use it for. I mean, that's one heck of an icing spoon, don't you think?
Right?
Well, I tell you what, we don't get legalized.
It's foreign. It's kind of foreign to us, too. It hasn't snowed here in like 100 years.
Yep, yeah. Believe me, I know exactly, and you know something, that's one place I would actually want to come to is Jacksonville, Florida, just to retire because I love the temperature over there all year round.
As soon as weed is legalized here, it's going to be a perfect state to retire. It's going to be paradise.
Well, I tell you what.
If they're legalizing marijuana now, like Michigan just got through doing it. How about you guys?
Well, I tell you what, we are looking at it. We can't say that we're absolutely sold on the idea just yet, but believe me, general consensus here in New Zealand is it should have happened years and years ago, literally.
Yeah, so far the pharmaceutical are approving it.
Yeah, the medical is legal.
Exactly. Well, not here as of yet. But believe me, we do want to see the movement happen here in New Zealand. We really, really do. Not that we're druggies or anything like that, but we can see the medical benefits as well. And we kind of feel it should never have been an illegal plant anywhere in the world anytime because of the medical benefits of it, if you know what I mean.
Would you see any benefit
for
the community in New Zealand?
Yes, absolutely we would. We really, really would. Not only would it be an economical benefit, and believe me, I can see the government's going to make a lot of money off this in the long run.
Sure.
But my concern is more for the people with aches, pains, and all sorts of things that can get a relief from this that, quite frankly, Pharmac isn't supplying.
Yeah.
Well, it's really anxiety that is something that the brain produces.
Yeah, exactly. And believe me, the THC within the plant, in its own right, when you use it properly, it can take care of so many different medical problems that a person can have, And I had one doctor tell me not so long ago, he says, Grant, it's a depression drug, don't you? And I went, well, they are the happiest depressants I've ever seen.
That is very true.
lot of people complain about the pharmaceutical drugs that are too heavy, too strong. It's funny that every time they recommend one, it comes with a recommendation of all the things that can go wrong. Kind of scary.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And believe me, I know that around in some parts of America they're dry states and stuff, but every now and again you like a little tiffle every now and again. Go down to the pub and have a few drinks. Then you like to, you know, as long as you're not in excess, drive home. What happens when you're on medicals as well and you've had that little tiffle? Now things change a lot and everybody now becomes, you know, a danger on the road.
Of course.
Right. Well, let me change the subject a little bit here and throw an idea that I don't know whether you guys do that in New Zealand or not, but here in Jacksonville, one of the popular things is beer tasting tours. You know, a lot of breweries are coming out, and now you kind of rent a bus and you drink on the bus and you drink in all the places you go. And it's on my bucket list actually for this come here.
Well,
do you guys do that in New Zealand?
yes, we do. We do have those here in New Zealand, but we also have a thing called winery tours here in New Zealand as well. And you can go through all the wineries that make specific wines, to do all the tasting and stuff. But the other thing too is a lot of the wineries these days are picking up on music and having live concerts there as well. And you can get anything up to a couple of 100,000 people at some of these shows.
Yeah, we have one. We have one in St. Augustine. We have the San Sebastian Winery that has a rooftop bar and restaurant, and you got tons of music and live events and great food. And I've heard great things about it.
Well, I tell you what, now, Jackie, your bucket list has got a New Zealand label on it. I've read this bucket list, and you are really, really wanting to come here to New Zealand and get down and do a few crazy things that we do here in New Zealand, including maybe the winery tour. But I've got to ask you, Jackie, have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
Of a what?
A hoo-hoo grub, spelled H-U-H-U.
Hoo-hoo grab?
Grub.
I haven't. No.
Okay, you guys must be familiar with a caterpillar, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is a caterpillar on steroids. It's big, it's huge, it's like a double-decker bus to a mini. And
oh my gosh.
what you do, and we will send you, Frank, an instructional video of this. You will absolutely love it. But believe me, what you do is you put the whole body in your mouth and you bite off the black head. It's got a black head, you know, it's white with a black head. Don't eat the head, it's yucky, but when you crunch down on this, it's like eating creamy peanut butter.
Wow, does it taste like peanut butter?
It does, it really, really does. Now, basically it's a mental thing, getting a live thing in your mouth and eating it. And that's the challenge, to be honest. And I tell you what, I'll make sure that there's a spare mason jar or two at hand, if need be. Okay, but...
yeah. Don't put energy drink on it. Don't put energy drink on it. Nothing with energy drink. You know what
I need a Red Bull.
when you come here, what we'll serve you is alligator meat. Alligator.
No, I haven't, but I'm in straight away. Give me
coffee.
Yeah, believe me, my friend, I am up for everything. I really, really am. I love a challenge, and alligator meat sounds right up my alley. I have had kangaroo, I will admit that. You know, but being in Australia, I was absolutely pleasurable to be part of their traditions, and they gave me some of that, so I've tried that. But never tried your delicious meats, and I'm going to try that for sure when I get there. At the same time, Jackie, we'll take you down the bottom of the South Island, and, I don't know, Barbara, we'll throw her off a bridge. What do you reckon?
Yep. But I'm not going.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. We'll introduce you to bungee jumping here in New Zealand. Now, not being Australian, we'll attach the bungee.
Okay. Certainly appreciate that, thank you.
It's nothing like a human yo-yo.
She likes to go to that...
I want to go to Hobbiton.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, you're familiar with Lord of the Rings then, obviously.
love it. I love it all. I love Lord of the Rings. I love The Hobbit. I've been a fan. I mean, my email address that I've had since I was 12 is Lord of the Rings.
Well, I tell you what, when you and Frank and of course Christian do manage to come down here, it's only about an hour and a half away from where we are right now. And we will absolutely love to show you around Hobbiton. It is a wonderful place to be a part of. And it really is what you see in the movies. It really is.
It's beautiful. I've seen images. I follow many New Zealand pages on social media. It's a beautiful country.
Yes, we are very proud of our clean green reputation here in New Zealand. And there's parts of New Zealand that time literally has forgot. You can almost see the dinosaurs walking down through the Marlborough South, for instance. I know this, but you see, it's a little bit beyond the past. I know the dinosaurs were there. Mum arrived home just a couple of days ago.
That's great. That's wonderful.
I tell you what, so picturesque in some of the parts of New Zealand that we would be honoured to be able to take you and show you the expose of what we have here to offer. And we would love all of your viewers, especially on the late night show, Frank, come here and experience the Kiwi way. You won't regret it. We promise you that.
Oh, I tell you, I think we have to have this brotherhood and sisterhood because I think a lot of people like that live in Jacksonville would love to go to New Zealand. And it's just a matter of keeping in touch, you know, like family.
Exactly.
And the more we learn about each other, the more we want to experience it. I tell you, Jacksonville has a lot to offer. Just below us, about 15, 20 miles, we have St. Augustine, the first city of the United States, the oldest city and the first city. And it's, you know, like going back in time, actually, back in the 1400s. So, you know, I'm saying some pictures. I don't know if you've seen St. Augustine or Charles has talked about it, but...
Well, I got to be honest with you, Frank. I know about St. Augustine very, very well. I really, really do. It is one of the cities... You see, I'm a bit of a historian myself, and I do like to be able to follow other cultures and other people's history, and not only the Kiwi way here in New Zealand, but I'm a big fave, of course, of the Roman eras and all sorts of things that have happened through history, and maybe some of the quirky things as well, and including St. Augustine. I'm very familiar with that. And I got to be honest with you, I was talking to somebody coming out of the Alamo the other day. They worked at the Alamo, and that's a place that I really have on my bucket list. I want to go and have a look there. And this person said to me, Grant, the place is haunted. And I went, I'm in. I'm right there. Let me spend the night.
San Antonio is beautiful. It's a college town. You'd love it. You would love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love the night kind of deal they've got going there with the man-made rivers and all that sort of stuff. That's beautiful at night. And I can see me and Jackie having a wine there one night. What do you reckon, Jackie?
Oh, definitely. I'm in.
Good. I tell you what, you better ask your husband just in case though, right?
Yes. Honey, is it okay?
We can put whatever in the list.
I love it. I love that idea. So, in the meantime, Jackie, we would love to be able to take you on a harbour ride at Auckland, our biggest city, at night time and show you just how picturesque Auckland can be at night and have a couple of wines on one of our yachts. What do you reckon?
Beautiful. I'd love to.
Great. I tell you what, we'll set it up for when you guys let us know that you're coming. If you need any paperwork or anything like that taken care of, see Barbara, believe me, we can capably take care of visas and everything better from us here in this side of the world than from you guys. You go through a lot more red tape, if you know what I mean.
Right,
yes,
right,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always nice to have family on the other side, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got somebody in the know.
Yes. No, especially when we can go ahead and make a movie and stuff about you guys.
Well, you know, I would welcome that, to be quite honest, because believe me, it is always nice to be able to expose not only Galaxy. I've got to admit, we're very proud of what we do here in Kawerau, but also our country, because we are so proud of our country. We do like to be able to say to other people, come on over, let's have a cold one together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, what is the #1 beer over there?
Well, that's debatable. It depends on the region that you're in, to be quite honest. Some would say Waikato, which is actually a region in its own right. Me personally, I would say Lion Red, because that's what I drink, and I used to drink in the biggest city of Auckland, which is the one where everybody drinks that up there. Or if you're in the South Island, I mean, they're good old hardy boys down there, good old farmers and everything, so they drink a beer called Spates, and believe me, it's a little earthy and has quite a bite to it too, to be honest. Not much like Guinness, but it kind of has that, it's bordering on that texture.
Yeah, that stout kind of dark beer.
Yeah, exactly.
In the United States, we're seeing a big trend towards the
craft beer.
The craft beer, yeah. Where
everybody's making their own beer.
Yeah.
Right. Well, at the same time, isn't the government in places over there starting to relax a bit more about making your own alcohols?
I think so, in the sense that the marketplace is changing completely, and I think that it's opened up a market for individuals to grow their own little products, like us, being able to compete with the major markets because of technology.
Right.
So yeah, it's almost like a Starbucks. Every corner has one.
Yeah, I fully understand. You see, it's legal everywhere here for us to be able to do our home brews, as we call it. We don't have any problems with that, much like the Americans have some problems with the taxes on the moonshines and stuff like that.
Moonshine, yeah.
Now, are you familiar with the internet and TV sensation called Moonshiners?
Yes.
Okay, well, a good friend of mine is one of these guys' best friends, and we're doing an interview with Josh Owens in a couple of days or so. So I will pass on love from you guys, and I tell you what, I'll get Jody Medford, if you're watching right now, get in touch with Frank Muma. I'll give you all the details. Jody Medford arguably is the deepest voice in country music right now, and believe me, absolute sensation, knows everybody. Everybody, literally, he's had photos done with, believe me, do you remember Smokey? Smokey and the Bandit? He, of course.
Yeah,
Bear Reynolds, of course, he passed away just a wee while ago, but Jody's got photos with him not so long before he passed away. It's like this guy knows everybody. So I'd be honoured if I could pass some information on Jody Medford to you. You will absolutely love the guy. You really, really will. And if you're into fishing or anything like that, you've got a #1 fan right away. He's right into trout fishing. He's been to New Zealand. He's done a bit of the wild stuff here in New Zealand and survived it.
Survived.
But I seen a lot of people that go to New Zealand and they visit you and you take them on different tours and they seem to have such a blast. So
skydiving and bungee jumping and
drinking. You got the bar across the street.
Yeah, we do actually. We do. And Frank, here's a true fact. Here in New Zealand, we have a thing called OSH, which is a government department on occupational health and safety, right? And they make sure that every month we have a fire drill to make sure that our staff know where the safe region is for us to be away from any danger. So we've got it worked out to the inch. I think you use inch. We use meters and millimeters and stuff. But to the inch is at the bar right across from us.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow. Well, I've seen the pictures of him, and I go, man, that's great. I wish I was, had an office real close to a place like that.
Well, the whole point is, you'd be surprised how often our staff yell out, "Fire drill!"
Fire drill!
That's hilarious.
You grab the wallet on the way out.
Yeah. Absolutely, but we make sure that we practice that health and safety every chance we can, to be quite honest.
Yes, I imagine that. See, that's thinking ahead, that's being beneficial. Yeah, I would run that.
Exactly. There's no excuse for us being alcoholics, but what the hell, let's try that.
Right, and just once a week, on a Friday.
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, it seems like it's Friday every second day, if you want to put it like that.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know something? The 420 group's starting to get in on the act now as well.
Wow.
Hey, I heard a rumor that there's a 6-foot cow on that side of the street. Is that true? Have you heard about that?
That's no way to talk about my wife.
Oh, she went.
Vicious rumor.
Vicious rumor.
Yeah, it is a vicious. It is a vicious rumor.
It's Australian.
We have a cow up here. Now, I'm not pointing at you. We have a cow up here. That is what?
Calling me a cow.
6'2".
6'5".
6'5".
You are quite right though, Frank. Somewhere in New Zealand there is an absolute. It's huge. It's a steer. It really is. It's a black and white thing. But yes, But believe me, I think that's a one-off. To be honest, could you imagine passing that? You know, the poor thing's mother.
Well, I'd like to see. Well, it's a steer, the one you have, and I guess the one we have up here is a cow. So milking that thing, I imagine. You get a couple of gallons really fast.
You really would, but you wouldn't need a stool, would you? You just walk underneath.
You might need a ladder.
A lot of crazy things. You've been watching the big fires up in California.
Yeah, absolutely, we have. And our hearts go out to everybody that's been affected by that. It is an absolute tragedy, to be very honest with you. We here in New Zealand, we've sent over 5 people to assist in the past, and we'll continue to do so. But we also have artists, would you believe, that we promote, that are also volunteer fire people. They've been keeping us apprised of everything that's been going on. And really, I got to give a shout out to all the fire people that are involved in protecting everybody and taking care of not only the people, the houses and their property, but also the pets as well. That's one time that pets get overlooked a lot, and I feel so sorry for the cats, the dogs, the birds and everything else that's concerned.
Right, yeah. Sometimes we forget about the wildlife that exists there, and it's amazing how fast those fires take up. It's incredible, and you got to wonder, what can the people that live it do? You can build? I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, as you said, they take hold so fast. They create their own life, really. They breathe their own oxygen and just spread like hell. Believe me, never a good thing unless you're doing a controlled burn. I know that farmers do controlled burns. That's all well and good. But what's happening, and believe me, we're expecting this coming out of Australia very, very shortly as well. They're absolutely getting hammered by heat waves right now. And every year, places like the Blue Mountains in Australia, we're forever sending our firefighters and our emergency staff over there to assist because, believe me, it does get absolutely crazy. So we've had a lot of people in Canada, for instance. They do the fire jumping thing. They've had a very, very busy summer, and then it went down through into America, and of course all the way around through California and stuff like that was just absolutely nuts. And I know that everybody over there, one way or another, has been affected. And really, our hearts go out to people like that. And it is just not the best thing in the world. I hope everybody had insurance.
Yeah, and even, even if you have insurance, some of those people, if there's some of these big stars and everything, there's things that you can never recover.
Yeah, exactly. It's the family photos. It's the all the wedding stuff that's been put away for, Grandma's put it away and she wants, to bring it out for memory's sake. Everything like that. Absolutely. We absolutely sympathise with everybody with that because it is very much an effect on people.
Yeah. Well, global warming, and I hate to get into that part of it, but, do you believe in it? Do you, how's it affecting New Zealand? And I have another question for you. You answer that question. Listen, you guys are getting affected by this deal up in Great Britain.
Hold on.
How's it affecting New Zealand?
Let me just I'm actually getting a little garbled right now from you, so it's just breaking up a little bit. But let me answer the first one about global warming. You know, we kind of do believe in global warming and we want to believe in it, but all we kind of hear is how much is this going to cost us? And we're wondering where that money's going to go, to be honest. But in the reality of it is we are seeing unseasonable changes here in New Zealand. It really is. Summertime right now, some parts of it feels like winter, but just a few days ago down the South Island it was snowing, which is completely out of character for us right now. So there are kind of weird and wonderful things happening with the weather, I will admit that. And not only here in New Zealand, but around the world as well. You know, we're seeing places that normally would be snowing right now, going through heat waves and going, well, that's not normal. How do we fix it? That's a good question. I have no answers for you there. And believe me, I can understand that, sure, there's going to take a little money to be able to do that. But since everybody's been paying for their carbon emissions and everything else around the world, where has this money gone? What's it done?
Right.
All right.
Now, you were going to ask me...
You know, human beings will never change their habits. It's just very hard for them to do. And so, I guess, you know, we're going to play this card to the very end. And I guess maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I think people won't give up their habits. I just don't.
No, we're too set in our ways to do that. And it doesn't matter which country you're looking at. We've always been brought up the same way. And believe me, I believe that's exactly what you're going to say. But at the end of the day, is this the beginning of the end of humanity? Are we looking at an extinction because we can't change our ways?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we, you know, if you look back at history and you see these World War I and II and...
We're a self-destructive race.
Personally,
That's the education that they're giving us, this stuff.
Chris, education is all well and good.
The Western civilization, the Chinese civilization, they try to take care of the inner more than the outer, and look like the Western civilization is kind of like look at the outer and destroy yourself to the inner.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying there, Chris. You know, I really, really do. But at the end of the day, it is, and it's always been preordained that we're out to kill ourselves. We really, really are. We will not get past our own self.
Right.
Yeah. So, looking for other planets, I mean, that's our destiny. Yes. Hey, this last, we'll let you run a little busy, but UFOs, do you, in New Zealand, see UFOs in the air?
Can I get you just quickly to repeat that question? It sort of dropped out halfway through.
Do we see UFOs?
He was asking if you guys get a lot. I know. If you guys get a lot of UFO sightings.
UFOs? We love UFOs here in New Zealand. We're UFO friendly. We really are. We want them to come and have a cold one with us as well. Absolutely. We really do. Believe me, the one thing, and governments have tried to cover these up for how long now, really? We've all known the truth. And even if you have a look at some of the religious artwork, you will notice that there's UFOs in them, right? Absolutely. Just got to ask you though, my friend, if you believe in a man in the sky and you call him God, well, I got to let you know, he's an alien.
Yes.
Yes. And a lot of people.
Well, they have different dimensions of the aliens too. I mean, they can go ahead and transform from one dimension to another by the matrix of this organic time travel, like from the back to the front.
Well, you know, that's an amazing thing, and wouldn't you love to have one of those at home? You know, to just zip over around any part of the world or the galaxy at a moment's notice,
Especially
you know?
when they say you to take the trash out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, just put it in the machine, it goes by itself. Hell yeah, I'm in for that straight away. But more importantly, if you look at humans ourselves, we have been on a destructive pattern ever since day one. We're very much a war race of people, us humans. So if you look at a game of chess, you always put your pawns in first and you work your way through it, right? Now, if you're going to associate humans with aliens, for instance, these days we put in machinery first, and that's what we're doing with going to Mars and everything. We're sending over drones first before we send any humans in. I'm just saying that, well, maybe that's what we've been seeing over the millennia of these craft coming, and everybody's familiar with the little greys, if you know what I mean. I kind of think they might be a biological robot that is doing all the dirty work and sending it back via their email system that they may have, that's like years ahead of us, back to their people and telling them exactly what we're doing. Would you think that's unreasonable?
No, not at all. And it's not unreasonable that they send rovers with cameras to check us out. That seems more logical. But, you know, if we look at the course of human events, we see that somebody that's more intelligent than the other species tends to take advantage of them.
Well, this is true. This is true. And to be quite honest, maybe there is...
That's what happened to the Bible.
Yeah, but maybe they're as apprehensive of meeting us as we are of them.
I mean, it would make sense. That would make sense because we haven't had any concrete proof or any contact.
Exactly. Maybe we don't mind being a test subject. Let's be honest. You know, people look at us all the time. Even our doctors use us in different ways. So we're kind of familiar with that. But maybe, just maybe, they're a little bit shy about introducing things. Now, let's not forget, if the day comes when you see big spacecraft over your city, you will know the truth. Absolutely. But who's in control of the airspace now?
Whoever has the dominant Air Force.
The marketing, the TV station will have all the last word to say at the end, and that's how it's going to go ahead and end up into somebody get some books and start teaching people how really life is. After that, we're never going to know if we're living in another dimension outside of this earth.
Well, you're kind of talking, my friend, about the Matrix, if you really associate it like that.
We're talking about the neutron and the string theory, how everything came apart in this dimension.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, Christian, I've got to ask you, really, what is reality?
Perception.
Is the perception of your brain, or the concept of the older brain that you think is yours, but it's older than everybody together.
Everybody has their own perception of reality.
Exactly that. Everybody has their own perception of reality. And what a wonderful answer it really, really is. Because believe me, when you ask people what reality really is, they don't really want to answer you because they don't actually know themselves, if you know what I mean. So it is nice to be able to have a perspective of that particular answer. But having said that, at the end of the day, aliens, yes, I believe in aliens, I really do, and I'm looking forward to the day that they make themselves known to the rest of the world. I think they've been here for a long, long time. They're just a little shy.
Yeah,
it says the report said it's more than one race of aliens that live on this earth.
We need to make first contact.
Absolutely, and I think we've already made first contact many, many years ago. Let's go back to the Egyptians, for instance, if you know what I mean, and the hieroglyphics that they have on their walls. Believe me,
well, that's why they create all this matrix, so by the vibration that they use on TV, they can be controlled as to whatever they want us to be as a god.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly right. And as you're saying, many generations. Well, look at human beings. We have so many different species of human being in this world. We have the Africans. We have all sorts. Even you guys, the Latino species, and us Kiwis. You know, we're all still got 2 arms, 2 legs, couple of eyes, and you know we function pretty much the same. but we have not only maybe a different skin colour, but a different culture and being born up, if you know what I mean. I don't see that as being too different from the alien races.
Well, you know what? Just in the numbers alone, if you look at the universe and you see the vast number of planets and galaxies and universe, there's got to be a ton of different life forms out there. The only thing keeping us from really meeting them is distance. We just don't have the ability to cut through. But if we
yeah, absolutely, Frank. And believe me, we're finding new planets every day. And they're the Goldilocks kind of planets that we are absolutely looking for. It's just, maybe they're not telling us the whole truth all the time, but we are finding them. And to be ignorant enough to say that we're the only intelligent life species anywhere in any galaxy, I'm sorry, I got to argue that point.
We're trying to discover what our own ancestors did before us, so we can go ahead and communicate with the spiritual life that we miss.
Yes, absolutely. But you've got to ask the question as well. We've established that we're absolutely at doom's door, really, with our our environments and everything. Has this happened to us before? Have we been brought here from somewhere else and we've just continued and done it again?
Well, it's like asking the question of how the Big Bang started. What happened before the Big Bang? Was there nothing?
Yeah.
And do we keep does this bubble keep bursting and keep existing, and then
Starting all over again.
imploding and starting all over again?
Well, I got to be honest with you, Frank. The last thing I would like to do is have a reset button and have me back again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You won't be here. Don't worry about it.
That's a good thing for humanity.
Needs a few batteries.
They tell us that it's going to be an asteroid that's going to hit the Earth on 2019 if we don't pay attention. Well, 2019 will be close enough to just in case hit a satellite signal.
Yeah.
Or if we don't do anything about it, we'll go ahead and hit us back again as soon as they go around the sun.
Yeah, the thing with that, though, is if we send, say, rockets to go and divert this thing, are we going to be putting nuclear waste into a space that really shouldn't have it in the first place? So if we wipe that one off the books, how do we divert this thing?
I think it's too late to figure it out now because we have like 10 years to try to create a technology to do the precision that need to be done so we can move this thing around the circle of the gravity of the Earth.
You know, Christian, I see the urgency in that. I really, really do. And on behalf of humanity, I hope we find a way of getting around this one really, really quickly. 10 years.
China is doing it. North Korea is doing it. They're trying to get mine exploring outside this, so they can know how to react and but why we're not getting all this information back on the real.
Exactly, Christian. I fully understand what you're saying there. It also goes back to that movie Armageddon, really, doesn't it? If you have a look at that. That gave us a suggestion of what we were looking at back then. And believe me...
If we say that we're in the ending time, welcome.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. But at the same time, as I said to you earlier on, maybe we might be able to be going through this period again, unfortunately, much like what the dinosaurs went through.
Right.
But I have a feeling, though, Frank and Jackie and Christian, that humans are much like the cockroach. They'll get one or two through, and before you know it, we're back here again.
Yeah. It seems like history is set to repeat itself.
We're like cockroaches. We just don't die.
Yeah.
Well, you can wipe a lot of us out, but you can't get us all, right?
I think that the intelligence that they have already been governed, it will take the DNA out of this organ system, so they can go ahead and planet it back again when they renew the planet like they did the other time. lives on this planet.
Well,
like seeds.
well, I've got a question for you, Christian. Do you think humanity and all humanity wants to live forever and a day? Let's be honest. We don't want to get old and we don't want to die. But do you think humanity is heading towards maybe becoming robotized? Now, let's not forget we're doing things with limbs these days and other parts of the body. Do you think sooner or later, just basically, it's just going to be the human conscious and everything else is going to be nuts and bolts?
No, that's a great question. I was thinking about that the other day, that if we keep enhancing our bodies and making it better than we already have them, and keeping the brain alive, can we live to be 300 years old? You know, keeping our memories, keeping that part, but everything else we can manipulate.
Recycle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The part to be better.
Exactly. That, believe me, you and I think alike, to be quite honest, Frank, we really do. But at the same time, how does that now give us reproduction? Are we just going to be machines that's going to go down and, you know, we'll get an oil up, tune up, and we're fine for another 500,000 kilometres? And do you think mums and dads now are a thing of the past?
Well, you know what the scary part about that question is that we already do it with our cars. We already do it with certain, with our pets, or
we're cloning.
With something that we're really close to as far as a machine. So yeah, and for example, if somebody in your family came by and knocked it over, you'd probably smack them aside the head, because that means more to you than anything else. So yes, I think that we would fall in love with machines more than people. In fact, some people like machines more than people right now.
Absolutely. And Jackie, I'm sorry for being boring. You don't need to yawn that much.
You're not boring at all. I'm used to working at night.
Okay, she got to be there at midnight tonight. That will be in 2 hours.
Works for Fox Television.
Yeah, fair enough. Fox Television, very, very reputable. Well done.
Thank you. Yes, I work for our local Fox and CBS affiliate.
Nice. And of course, Frank's there. He's a superstar in Jacksonville, Florida, isn't he?
Yes, very much so.
I create my own legend, yes sir.
You know, my friend, I do absolutely talk to a lot of people from Jacksonville, Florida. They know of you and talk about you quite a bit. Believe me, when I say I have a friend, I mention your name all the time, and believe me, they know exactly who you are.
So does the police in 12 other states, but let's not go past that well.
Well, here's one for you, Frank, then.
The credit report.
Yeah, believe me, Frank, here in New Zealand, I like to be frank and earnest as well. In Auckland, I'm frank, and in Wellington, I'm earnest. How's that?
It's always a pleasure talking to you, Grant. I love you, and I love the people from New Zealand, and let's keep this bond going, especially this upcoming year, and do it more often. Let's not wait so long. And the last thing I would ask you is any New Year's resolution that you have.
Yes, I got one massive resolution, and that is to raise more awareness on suicide. Believe me, I know there's a huge campaign throughout America and in Canada and stuff like that for bullying. But believe me, suicide is just as prolific in every country of the world, and we need to be able to be more aware of people's feelings and what's going on to be able to prevent a life being taken unnecessarily. So for me, I would like to have everybody more aware of their families. Give them a hug for Christmas. Give them all the love they need. And believe me, I'm passing this not only on to our listeners and your viewers, but also yourself, Frank, Jackie, Christian. Please have a very, very happy and safe Christmas and festive season. Let's meet up again next year and talk about everything that you've done over that period. But believe me, guys, with love from us Kiwis, we want you to have a very, very happy Christmas.
Well, thank you very much. Merry Christmas and a very prosperous New Year.
Thank Barbara also, and Terry and yourself for allowing us to come on your station. It's a monster of a station, and I really, really appreciate it.
So much love and appreciation. Thank you.
And anyway, I will carry that message because I think it's important, and especially during this time that I will carry throughout the whole year. What we like to also consider is organ donation. For people to consider that, how many lives we can save next year. Just blood donors, those kind of things where we can save lives. I say we put those two ideas together. I think we got a happy New Year coming.
Absolutely, Frank. I would love to talk to you more about organ donations and everything like that, because believe me, it is a big part of people's lives where that, you know, you don't know how valuable your organs are until you absolutely need one, right? So believe me, it is a huge subject. We'd love to catch up with you, talk about that. And believe me, I wish all the best to all of your viewers over the festive season. We don't want them to get silly, even though it is the silly season, if you know what I mean. But love, pass the love, even to the homeless people. You know, they need a bit of recognition as well out there. You know, it's cold at night right now. You know, and if you've got a spare blanket, pass one over.
Absolutely, that's a great idea. That's Christian. He's already celebrating.
Brilliant.
See you guys. Love you.
Yes,
Love you guys.
Absolutely,
Bye,
Frank.
Frank.
Don't be wait for so long next time. Let's do it again. Gotta say, by the way, I love the post. I absolutely love the post. I really, really do.
Oh. Thank you. Conversation.
We'll talk about that again.
Bye, brother.
Have a great day. Thank you for staying up and having a part of Galaxy in your station.
Thank you.
Love you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That's right. You're right here in Galaxy.